What up, everyone? Just well, you know the deal. Just over here was just texting back and forth with Pete once again out at Origin, and I said, hey man,
what's up?
Instead of just telling me what's going on, why don't we just tell everyone what's going on? I know you guys have been turning and burning.
Yeah, man.
You got the war machine cranked up.
Yeah, it is cranked up. Actually, the stitching line, the sublimation department couldn't keep up with the stitching line. There was 12 people in 3, 4, 5 lines, something like that today, and they were cranking, dude.
So what does that mean? So when you say the sublimation line won't keep up with the what up?
Jocko says what's up. That makes your whole day. So they were done. They were done with 3,600 units at 3:30, and they're working till 5. So they get about 400 an hour, right? Just under, maybe 350 an hour. So another hour and a half done, we would have gone over 4,000 units. So, but didn't do it. So we got to. Yeah.
What does this mean? What have we shut down? What lines have we shut down?
We have shut down all of gi manufacturing, all of weaving, all of rash guard compression manufacturing, and a little bit of jeans, just a little bit of jeans.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't shut. Yeah.
This is a classic case of prioritize and execute, right? We got our country, you know, in a tough time. Country needs masks, and the priority becomes what can we do to help out this fight against the coronavirus.
Exactly.
And it's as simple as that. I mean, it's as simple as this is what prioritize and execute is, and that's what you're doing. It's awesome to see.
Well, I was trying to call you today. Were you doing the online seminar today, the Echelon Front?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I was doing. And they're like an hour long, but again, this is where you look at a situation that you're in, and that's exactly what happened at Echelon Front. You know, Echelon Front, as you know, what we do is go around and talk to companies. And by the way, we talk to 50, 100, 500, 1,000 people. Those all got shut down. And so we had an online training platform, and what I did is the same thing, prioritize and execute. We're focusing all of our resources right now into online training. And I'll tell you what, I won't be surprised if I look up in 3 months or whenever this is over, and I'm not saying, hey, I can't believe that I used to travel everywhere, every day, every week to go and meet with people when I can easily do it online and follow up with them and talk to them and interact with them. So it's the online sessions have been great, and we're just going to keep doing them. We're actually stepping up. So that's what we're doing on the Echelon Front side. You know, it's the pivot that it's the pivot. You know, everyone talks about the pivot. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone talks about the pivot, man. And it's like, okay, watch this. And that's exactly what we're doing. Yeah. It's that's what you got to do in a time like this, you know. And one thing plus
you can touch more people, you know. Just like JP was saying when he was up here a couple weeks ago, he was saying that the FTX events, like I could send like 2 or 3 people, and then another company could send like 2 or 3 people. Where it's the same type of thing. You can touch more people at the same time. So you're stretched. You might come out of this thing being like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. No, I know. And here's the other thing is, when you look at it, when you do it, look, I go and talk to companies all over the place. I spend 4 hours on a plane, 5 hours on a plane. I get off the plane. I go, maybe I sit down with the leadership for an hour, and then I go and talk to the troops for an hour, and then I'll spend a little time debriefing. But that's 3 hours, and then I get on a plane and fly back. That's, whatever. It takes 8-10 hours worth of travel. Imagine if we eliminated all that travel and I was instead interacting face-to-face with the CEO, interacting face-to-face with the COO, interacting face-to-face with the frontline managers, not face-to-face like in person, but face-to-face like we're doing right now. I mean, we might as well be in the same room right now.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think we're going to look up after this is over, and I'll see some changes. Not changes, but I'll see some additional things that we'll be doing at Echelon Front. As a matter of fact, we already created it. We guess what we're calling it? Lead Net.
Lead Net.
Lead Net. That's all of our virtual services, all of our connected online services. Lead Net.
Nice.
So,
I like it.
yeah.
I like it.
And you know, this is the kind of thing. This is the kind of thing I like. You know, like I can see. Like,
oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know, but I can feel like you've been so excited, you know?
Yeah.
Every day I wake up, like normally I'll wake up, I'll have one text from you. Right now I'm waking up and I'll have 5 texts. So what about this? What about this? We're doing this. So, and I hate to even admit this right now. I guess I've already said it. So, you know how, well, people are always like, hey, Jocko, are you going to run for president? Oh, yeah, it'd be great. You know, and I'm always like, no, not really my thing. No. But when there's turmoil and stuff going on, I kind of when I see this happening, like this is the thing that makes me go, I would love to be in this situation. I would love to be making the calls. I would love to be putting the word out, making decisions.
Yeah, man.
This is what I like. Would I want to be in charge of the country when everything's going smooth? That'd be cool, but I think that could get handled. But when there's mayhem happening,
I'm in, dude. I'm in. You let me know. You let me know. I'm in. I've been thinking about getting in that shit, you know, in 5 or 6 years anyways, so
well,
names.
If there's normalcy, like I always say, if there's no turmoil, I'm going to be doing jiu-jitsu and surfing. Only if there's true mayhem, which I don't think we're going to reach the true mayhem stage. You know, I think I think we'll push through it.
And people will come together naturally. I mean, that's going to happen. Like, people are just going to start coming together after they fight for toilet paper and all that shit. They're going to come together and they're going to lend each other toilet paper.
Yeah. So what's the plan right now?
Well, we're trying to figure that out.
I mean, sublimation is the bottleneck, right?
Yeah. So sublimation is the bottleneck. We just can't get the product up to stitching because they're ripping through it so fast. And then all of our material is knit. All the warp wick is knit about 3 hours away. And so we're trying to make sure we're having enough product knit, but we heard that they might be getting shut down. So we're going to have to put some, you know, get in and let them know they can't shut down. Right. So, yeah, so we use another factory to knit our warp whip for us. They just have much more capacity for knitting than we do, of course. So if right now we're front loading it, it's a lot of material we're ripping through, a lot of sublimation we're ripping through. I mean, we've never ripped through this much raw material in a given day ever.
Now, but you ordered a new printer, right?
Yeah. So the printer's going to be here Thursday, and it's pretty cool because that first sublimation printer, the one that Epson designed for like Nike and Under Armour, we got number 1, the serial number 000001. And yeah, so I'm curious to see what number this serial number is on this. This will be here Thursday. It's a pricey piece of equipment, but we can fuel the line up to 6,000 pieces a day. So that'll
somebody just asked, what is sublimation?
Sublimation is a dyeing process. So it's a dyeing process that normally dyeing process is a wet process. Sublimation, it goes to a gas and then back to a solid. So the fiber opens up like this, and then the dye goes inside the fiber, and the fiber closes. And so it's permanent. So that will never crack, fade, or peel because it's a permanently sublimated, dyed.
Yeah. It's like the highest form of printing on material or in material.
It is, yeah. And it's expensive, but.
And then we're donating. How much are we donating right now?
We're going to try to donate. Like, we're trying to balance out like what we're selling because we're not making a massive like profit off of this thing. So we're trying to balance off what we're selling versus what we're donating. I think we can donate about $12,000 a week in product. So that'll be like the straight white ones. And right now we have 17,000 requests. 17,000 requests. So if we can, I think we can really afford. I don't even want to use the word afford. I think the right thing to do is to be able to donate beyond what maybe is, you know, business smart, because we know that we're actually pushing the limits of that. So about $12,000 a week in product we can make and donate, which is a lot.
Well, I know, but it's what's the choice? Not give people, not, we got first responders out there, we got doctors and nurses. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And the other beautiful thing is, I mean, you see the smile it puts on my face when I see the girls working. I mean,
oh man,
it's just awesome to see. It's awesome to see. And I know right now a lot of people in the country, they're not working. I mean, I got a friend that just laid off 150 people.
Oh shit.
That's the reality of what's happening. And another person, I noticed a comment down there. I said earlier it wasn't mayhem yet, and someone wrote it's mayhem in the hospital. So again, my perspective right now, is not a full perspective. And so to know that, I know that first responders and the medical personnel, and we've got to do everything we can to help them. So
we're trying to take care of right now all the donations in Maine thus far. So we're building 7,500 face shields, which I showed you, right, with a gi lapel. Have there been more orders for those? Man, if we could make 100,000 of them, we have people that would take 100,000 of them. So we're trying to source better plastic. So we were going to work with Diodora, the music company. Mm-hmm. They reached out to us and they sent us one of their like drum things with the plastic, whatever. And so hey, does this plastic work? So we were going to work with Diodora, and they were going to provide us the plastic. And they reached out to us, which was pretty cool. But they cannot now. They have to shut down for a couple weeks. You can you can figure out why. So yeah. Well,
what was interesting to me about the face shields was you showed me the design. And I was like, well, that seems kind of simple and cheap. And you're like, hey, Jocko, these people put them on, take them off, and throw them away.
Yeah, it goes into a Chernobyl burn pit. Done. Yeah. That thing is done. Radioactive. They put it on, take it off, throw it away. So there's about 1,200 that we just finished up right here in boxes, ready to get picked up. Our local healthcare system, well, the state of Maine purchased these ones. And then we've had so many requests, dude. We've got to find a way to do this better. And really, it comes down to sourcing the materials, the plastic and the foam.
If the plastic isn't great that we're using right now, isn't that still better than nothing?
It is. I mean, right now we're laminating sheets of plastic and laminators. We got a string of laminators set up. We're just putting lamination plastic through and just doing it. I mean, what else? Like that works. I mean, put a gi lapel on, a little strip of gi lapel, waistbanding, good to go.
And you said we're not making any money off those, just selling those at cost?
No, we're losing money. We're losing money. Yeah, it's $1. It's like I think it's like $1.35 or $1.40 to make, and we're charging them $1.30. So it's just not like, if we get into this thing, it's going to have to be a little bit different. But
yeah, well, that's part of this whole thing is keeping people employed, and that's what we have to do. That's what everyone is trying to do right now. I mean, who wants to have to lay people off, But I understand sometimes in order to make a business survive, you got to make decisions like that. So I know there's a lot of leaders out there facing really hard decisions right now, trying to make sure that their company can survive. And obviously the frontline workers in some of those cases, those are the ones that have to take the hit. So federal government's doing a lot. I know I shut my gym down. I mean, there's it's a tough moment for America.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you what, we have a lot of very thankful employees. A lot of them come up and talk to me about how thankful they are to not even just continue working, but flourishing right now. And just really grateful overall for what we've done.
So to that point, when I was on Rogan and I was talking about just America, and I was talking about people that worked at Origin. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, these people love going into work, right? They love being there. Mm-hmm. And I had somebody, respond to me and say, most people hate their jobs and blah, blah, blah. And man, you put out one of those videos, and whatever girl you had in the beginning was like, I love coming to work. This is the only place in my life. She looks like she's been in the workforce for a while. And she's like, I love coming to work. This is what it's all about. And one thing that you pointed out to me a long time ago is that in the modern age right now, our workers can see the results of what they make. They can see someone
Right.
wearing a gi on social media.
Yeah.
Well, now, and so that makes, that feels good to create something. Well, now
Yeah.
we've got a situation where people, the people working, the people actually putting these stitches here can see a firefighter wearing them, can see a cop wearing them, can see a nurse wearing them. And
Yep.
that is just like so rewarding.
So back in the day, there was 2 levels of fulfillment, two detached levels. The person creating the product, the craftsman, the craftswoman, then the person receiving it. Those 2 never touched. There wasn't a conduit between the 2. Now, the person building the product leaves at the end of the day, like, I've made that. The person gets it. They say, this is awesome. And then the 2 connect. The person who received it says, this is awesome. And the person who made it says, I made that. Right? And so there's that 3rd level of fulfillment, which you can only find if you're building stuff in America. Right? You can't. You only will find it if you're building stuff in your home country. Let's just say, where you're gonna make that connection.
So hey, people are able to get these right from the Origin website right now.
Yeah, from the Origin website, originmain.com. We had to change everything over to like patterns instead of like a big good. It's like small goods all over because we couldn't keep up. The way we had to cut that one was just. We were able to cut 100 an hour, and the other way we can cut 1,800 an hour. So we pivot.
Isn't it amazing how you can find efficiency when you need to?
Yeah.
That's the jiu-jitsu right there.
Dude, I'll tell you what, with all the shit going on in the world, like with this whole catastrophe of coronavirus and the economy and all that stuff. And I know it's temporary. I know we're gonna get through this, and by the end of the year, we're gonna have lived through an event that you only see once in a lifetime, once in 100 years. But I have welcomed the challenge. Dude, I'll tell you what. It motivated the shit out of me. Like just knowing we have 70 mouths to feed, and half the team has kids. Like there's 120 mouths to feed here. Like we're leading this thing. Like we better figure out a solution to make sure that we don't just make it through, but we thrive. We flourish through this thing. So that's been the real challenge, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the challenge. I don't know,
well, that's a question that I get asked a lot with working with businesses at Echelon Front. People say, well, when you were in the military, when you were in the SEAL teams, you were dealing with life and death. And I always tell them, I say, listen, in the business world, leaders are dealing with livelihoods. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people feeding their family. It's not lives, but it's livelihoods. And certainly, as you said, at Origin, with you add all those mouths to feed together, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of livelihoods on the line. And again, we made a pivot. We're making the best of it. I know there's a lot of leaders out there that are going to have to batten down the hatches in one way or another. They're going to have to make maneuvers. They weren't in a position. So that's when we got to dig deep. You got to do what you can. You got to go into like a hibernation mode. You got to go into survival mode. So it's going to be tough. But, I was talking about the economy today, and the money's not disappearing from the economy right now, right? It's getting squeezed in one direction or the other. There's I think Walmart had one of its best months ever. Amazon had one of its best months, and the other side of the spectrum, you've got some of the cruise liners that are having some of their worst months ever. And that may, some people may go, oh, whatever, it's people on vacation. But what you got to remember is there's sailors on there that are manning those machines, that are making that thing. There's crew on there. There's workers on there. So it's not just some luxury thing that only affects people that are going on cruise. I've never been on a cruise before, other than on a Navy ship.
Right? But, that's different.
But I know that even on a Navy ship, there's a bunch of people that work that make that ship run, and it's the same thing with the cruise line. It's the same thing with the airline industry. So I think there's it's going to be tough, but what every company's got to do is do what they can to keep moving forward.
Yeah, no, that's key. And and be creative and think outside the box. And like, I treat it like jujitsu. Like you can do jujitsu on the same. I guess Nancy Pelosi did some jujitsu recently too. I don't know if you saw that clip.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, holy shit. But you know, you do jujitsu. You got to do jujitsu. You must be listening to the Jocko podcast. You got to do something.
Yep. We got a wide demographic. You never know. I think
Yeah,
Nancy
you
Pelosi,
do.
she might be tuning into that jujitsu.
I actually texted Tulsi Gabbard, and I was like, did she get that from you? And Tulsi's like, she might have. She's like, I might have said something. I don't know where she got it from, but I might have said something. But she's just straight up like, we did jujitsu on this thing. I was like, I haven't done jujitsu in a while. I need to get on the mats, dude. But yeah, we do jujitsu on it, man. Find the angles. You know, when you're pushed, you know, be like water. You know, flow through. I think people try to stop it. You know, you can't stop what's happening. You can't stop the wave.
Yep.
You know, you've got to adjust to it and ride that thing, and you know, pick the direction and go.
Yeah, you know, there's a certain point in jiu-jitsu where when someone's passing your guard, and you can keep fighting it, and you can get exhausted, and you can give up, and you usually will end up in a worse position. Whereas if you just accepted and started escaping the across side before they settled, you'd be better off. It's the same thing here. Don't wait until you're stuck before you start to try and move. Try and move earlier.
There's early, on time, and late.
Yeah.
So if you can be right between early and on time, you're in a really good position.
Yeah,
you're just after. Yeah,
it's tough late. Too, because people's mentality, they're like, I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm not gonna let him pass. And it's like, no, man.
No, it's
you
not
already
about
blew that. You already blew that.
I'll tell you what, I like the best, obviously the best grappler I've ever competed against was Shanji Hibero, and we were in Abu Dhabi, and I was doing a little X pass, and I have a very strong X pass, right? You got the collar in that knee, and I'm like driving it through. Bro, he timed that pass so good for the escape. I felt like I was trying to lock down warm butter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I was and it was just like, I'm like, I am passing. Boom, and he went to turtle. I got the advantage. He went to turtle, but then boom, right back in guard. It was like that. You know, and that's how you got to be. You got to be like that. Once you commit, you make that commitment, and you replace your guard, you're good to go. So do that with business. You
got to be able to move. Now, we didn't have to. So speaking of move, for Jocko Fuel, for all the supplements, those are still good to go on Amazon, right?
Yeah, for sure. And actually, we're filming a Molt video this week. A funny one, dude. I'm gonna dress up as Bane. You know Bane from Batman. And I'm gonna be. Should I give it away? It's gonna be funny.
Give us a hint.
So the team's working on it. Henry's working on a Bane mask. You know, he's building a mask, and I'm gonna be like, I was born in the darkness, and I'm gonna be doing this whole thing, and then like Amanda's gonna turn on the light. Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna be holding the Molk, right? Like the darkness Molk. It's gonna be funny shit. Ty's gonna peek around the corner with like a Walmart Batman hat on with like a cutout of a Batman, like somebody cut it out with scissors and stuck it on him. It's gonna be good. We got it all planned out. So we're trying to have some fun with things. And I think that's the key too, is like, you know, if you get way too serious and you let all this media consume you and you absorb it and then you start letting it affect who you are, like that's a problem, you know, but you don't want to be too aloof either. So, Amanda wants to say hi.
What up?
Hi.
He said, what up?
Wish you were here.
I wish I was there too.
On a sewing machine, she said. You know, whereas you could be, you don't want to be too aloof and just be like, oh, this thing is it's nothing. You know, you got to have that balance, like you talk about, you know, with all the leadership stuff. But it's gonna be a fun week. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing your video.
Hey, I got to call you out in front of everybody.
On what?
I know you've got 4 kids at home to feed right now. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have been ripping through protein, in a major way, and you're probably having to feed all 4 of them at some point. Do they make you cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I don't do a lot of cooking around the house.
No. So you gotta come up with some recipes, some like Molt pancakes or Molt whoopie pies or something.
If you want that, you don't want it from me. You want it from my daughters.
Let's do it. That'd be awesome.
My daughters are on the Molt train.
Yeah.
but
Bro.
they get creative. They make all kinds of stuff. Of course, you'll have to translate it from their. They got their own freaking personal language that they talk in.
Like what? Like Valley Girl?
I can't. It's like, you know, it's slang. It's slang. They're coming back from college. They got their little way of talking. So,
Bro, they should steal your phone for like a little bit and record some videos and upload them.
I'm sure 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds will be able to understand them, but sometimes I'm just looking at them going, what? But they do mix up some tasty Mulk creations. So
Do they? Yeah, man. Let them. Well, you could just be there for moral support.
yeah, I'll film them making something. Right on. Right on, man.
All right,
Awesome.
brother.
All right, bro.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll talk soon.
Thanks everyone out there for the support. We appreciate it. And you know, stay clean, stay healthy, stay strong. And keep
People are like, no. They don't want us to get off. They're like, no. No, stay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we got work to do.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right,
talk
brother.
to y'all later.
See you later.
Out here.